today. Welcome into Women Crush Wednesday, my weekly IG Live series where I get to interview the coolest, smartest, raddest women ever. This episode brought to you by Gym Plus Coffee. I am rocking their gear. Get 20% off using code WCW. Today we have a super rad female. If you guys like baking, I have the worst sweet tooth. Love baked goods to my detriment. This woman is so cool. She is known as the Caker. Her name is Jordan Rindell, and she's about to join us. So let's get her on, learn a little bit about super stoked. I hope everybody's having a good day. Also, this is a female-owned company called Sunwink. They are not sponsors, but their drinks are amazing. It's like an energy drink. It's a sparkling tonic. I've been drinking it. This one's called Lemon Rose Uplift. And there she is. Hey, Jordan, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for taking some time to jump on. How are you today?
So exciting.
Where are you jumping in from? Where are you from?
I'm originally from New Zealand, and I moved to LA 2 years ago now. So I'm working from home today, taking a bit of a nice chill day, and yeah, I'm in Echo Park, LA.
Well, I love your story. I find you to be fascinating. I also have an affinity for baked goods. So hopefully one day I get to see you and meet you and hang with you in person. But what I thought was really interesting, and the other women that are a part of my team found you and were fascinated by you, was you provide these baking kits. You essentially turned your love of baking into a really rad female-owned business. And I kind of want to learn a little bit about your journey and your story, maybe some struggles along the way. So can you just tell us a little bit quickly about your business? What is your business? You're known as the Caker.
Yes, I am. Okay, well, I guess going right back. So it was 2010. I had been baking my entire life, but I one day in 2010 baked a particularly good cake. And my dad said to me, "Hey, like, this is all you care about doing. Why don't you do something about this and turn it into some kind of, work related thing?" So I created a blog back when, blogs were all the rage. And it kind of overnight became a bit of a vehicle for me to be able to post the recipes I was creating and eventually to sell cakes. And at the time in Auckland, New Zealand, there was really no one doing kind of like homemade style cakes. It was all quite mass produced and sort of everything was a bit generic. So things for me actually like took off fairly quickly. And in my first couple of years of business, I had my first book deal, and was like this had become my full-time job like fairly quickly. It wasn't until about year 5 that my sister joined me, and together it gave us a chance to look at the business and think, okay, the fresh cakes are wonderful. We're doing really well, but how can we grow this thing? We can kind of only service, the area around us. And what if we were to create a product that was based off this same ethos, but was a shelf product that we could like essentially ship around the world? So that's when we created the line of cake kits that you referred to before. And I guess 5 years later, we have supply chains set up in New Zealand, we supply Australia as well, and now here in the US. And yeah, it's all kind of go from here.
Wow. That is so amazing. And like, there's so many places I want to go in this conversation with you, because I appreciate what you're providing to consumers is a cleaner, obviously way more convenient way to, bake cakes. And the other part that I was really curious about was, what was this really good cake that launched into this whole thing? Because you're like, it was a really good cake. So what was it made out of? And can you just let us know that first and foremost?
Yeah, I remember very clearly. It was a caramelized upside down banana cake. and it just was gooey and like, you know, just not too sweet, but like caramelized, and just really, it was a good.
Okay, now I'm hungry. Thank you so much for that. Well, no, and the other part that, for me, these series are so important to shine a spotlight on women, specifically women-owned businesses. I feel like they've struggled the most in the pandemic because who owns small businesses? Women, minorities, right? So I wanted to take this opportunity when the pandemic hit to start this series so we could shine a light and kind of like bring awareness to women-owned businesses, but also to educate other women through your struggles or through your journey. And so for me, I want to go back a little bit, and we can still stay on the topic of your business. But what I find to be really fascinating is what you went through was, and what did you do before you were in this job? Because it sounds to me, I think I want to come to a place where I can start embracing women to do the jobs that they're passionate about, that they love. Like my job, I love people. Like I think I could do this for free, even though my agent would be upset with me. Getting to connect, I really don't feel like there's a boring person. So I'm so grateful that I found a career path that I really, truly, genuinely love. So for you, what was the job you were doing before you were passionately pursuing this career? And how did you handle navigating that you knew you had a passion, but you also wanted your passion to be a business?
Great question. I guess I've been baking since I was tall enough to, actually not even, I had to stand on a stool to reach the bench. I've been baking since I was like 4 years old. So from a very early age, I knew that the kitchen was the place I wanted to be. I just knew it was where I felt most comfortable. And so I would sort of get home from school every day and like push my homework aside and just bake. It's all I wanted to do. It just made me so happy. It made me happy sharing it with people and kind of seeing the joy it brought them. And so I guess fast forward, I was, about 20 years old, and I was working part-time in a fashion retail store, and kind of like beginning to like think, oh, I wonder if this could be a thing. And then when I did incorporate the company and it's, started to feel real, I don't think I even at that point really thought this could be my career path. I was just feeling grateful that I could make some money off my passion, but I still in the back of my head I thought maybe I'll pursue architecture. That was the other thing I really wanted to do. Maybe I'll, I guess it didn't really become a reality that this was what I was going to be doing until about year 2, and I'm not entirely sure what that mentality is to do with, but 11 years in, I'm like, I feel very, very, very blessed that I am able to do what I love doing for work every day. Same as you.
Well, and it's so interesting, right? Because I heard what I can correlate or relate to, that I think if you could give advice to women who may feel stuck, and I think a lot of us at this point, we feel stuck either emotionally or maybe physically, dealing with the pandemic. There's been a lot of more isolation. Oh, okay, good. Wasn't sure if my service is dodgy here. But what I heard from you in figuring out how to make your passion, your business, it was like a feeling it gave you. You felt like the kitchen was where your heart opened the most. And almost like if you were to give advice to a woman, is that what you would recommend, to tap into like how they feel when they're in this space?
I think so. I think it definitely for me really was a feeling, and maybe it's hard to recognize that feeling, but if you can, I think, hell yeah, go pursue it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then the awesome part is you get to work with your sister. Let me ask you, because here's another thing that, women to women, there's maybe a certain way we are more maybe compassionate or empathetic. How do you communicate with your sister about maybe like problems or things that you're going through that you want to connect with? Because like, that's not probably easy to have to handle conflict in a way where you're both hearing each other, and moving the ball forward.
Yeah, totally. Well, Anouk actually went to law school for like 5 years and did 1 year at a firm. And after that 1 year, she called me and said, "Can I come work for you? I'm not happy." So she's someone that she's got a very kind of legal, business orientated, pragmatic, systematic way of thinking, like more than I do, because I'm kind of more like the crazy creative one. And so when she came on, that's sort of the day I really think the business like took off, because all of a sudden we had two sides of a brain that like are so compatible, and but we have completely different skill sets, and not only are we sisters, but we're also like completely and utterly best friends. We're joined at the hip. We live together, we work together, we do everything together. And I do know how lucky we are to have this relationship. And I also think part of it works really well because we have quite different personalities. And it almost makes for this very dynamic duo, which makes us all the more powerful. So I literally, like, I didn't listen to any of the advice that people gave us, like, don't work with family, don't work with friends. None of that applies to us. It's a dream team.
Well, and it's so funny too. I feel that same way. If a project comes to me, obviously, or a sports opportunity, now I'm at the age where, of course, I want to enjoy the job and what it entails, but I more importantly want to enjoy the people I do the job with. Like it's funny, this shifted in me during the pandemic, which was like, I'm not going to just say yes to every job that comes to me. I want to say yes to what that relationship will be like, not just the work that I'm going to do, but who I get to work with. And so I'm sure for you, the sister, that element is so cool, but also your consumers are always happy. Like, that's got to be the coolest thing. So just tell us a little bit more about your company, because you don't just have the kits, you also have how many cookbooks?
5. 5 now. Yeah. The way we look at the Caker is it really has 3 components. So, and that's about to grow to 5. I can touch on that later, but basically there's the fresh cakes, which is obviously the bakery. It's kind of, we kind of dubbed that like the couture part of it. So it's like wedding cakes, cakes for events like Fashion Week, all this kind of thing. And they're really the couture because they're super important to create this brand that we have, but they're also very labor intensive, and you need a whole team. So in Auckland we have a team of 20 people like running this thing, and but yeah, very, very necessary to build this brand. The next part is the cake kits and the recipe books, I suppose you could say, more like a CPG like side to things, where we can, as I said before, like ship them internationally and kind of sell them while we're asleep. And we kind of dubbed this side of the business as like the ready to wear. It's like the part where you, like any fashion house, where the perfumes and the accessories are kind of like where the actual money is made, I think. But you sort of really do need in order to create this brand. And then the third component is me as and I don't love this word at all, but as a celebrity chef, I suppose you could say. It's sort of like, because I'm the face and the name of the brand, people are kind of invested in the Caker, I think, because of me and because of like my weird style and the photo shoots we do and the master classes that I hold, and that's the side of the business that I think is actually provides quite a big revenue stream for us, because, and I want to pursue more of this, but like, I love doing brand collaborations and working with people I love to create, different cake related things, and or perhaps not, because I'm about to do an eyeliner range. Just like, yeah, there's a lot to pursue. We're creating a whole ecosystem.
Sure. Well, and it's interesting because basically what you own is the data of people that want cleaner, more higher end, better. I mean, we could just go to the grocery store and buy a cheap cake mix and you'll be happy.
Yeah.
But like, what are you putting in your body? I think the consumer, and maybe even women that you're talking about with the eyeliner and this ecosystem, are the type that want to invest in a rich, indulgent cake, but know that they're not getting the same crappy qualities that you would be getting in, I don't want to say a brand, but we all know the brands that you can get from the grocery store that will, not make you feel good after you eat them. I only have like a couple more minutes with you, and I wanted to first, before I let you go, ask you, you're so busy, you're creating so much awesome stuff. How do you make time for Jordan?
I've gotten much better at this over the years, but I also think that taking the pressure off trying to find that balance was actually one of the best things that ever happened to me. The day I realized that I didn't need to find balance and that I can go through phases of being crazy busy and then maybe take like some actual decent time off was a really just like a really nice cathartic kind of realization. And I don't put too much pressure on myself these days to find that balance anymore. I just kind of go for it if I'm ready to go for it. But I guess I have gotten better at, finishing work at a reasonable hour and kind of just off a bit. But it is challenging. It is challenging, especially when you live with your business partner. So it's constant chatter. But yeah, as I say, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Look, wine, a little bit of exercise, friends, I think make it all worth it.
Mm-hmm. A healthy balance, and I think understanding why you're achieving so much. And I always say this to people, like, women haven't been given this opportunity for so many years because obviously we've been marginalized and all of that. And so I feel like I've been given an opportunity. My mom sacrificed so much to be able to give me this opportunity to pursue what I love. So I'm going to do it. And, maybe people can't understand why women right now are in a place of wanting to achieve. But I think because we didn't have the opportunities that we have today back in the day are the greater reasons why I think you're seeing so many women want to capitalize on that opportunity. If people wanted to learn more and buy the caramel one was amazing. How can they learn more about your company? Where can they go?
So the website is thecakerusa.com, and you obviously can see my Instagram now, but it's The Caker, and those are the two kind of biggest, platforms to find out what we're up to and to purchase. So yeah, thank you so much. This was so fun.
Thank you. I don't want to take up any more of your time. I know you're a busy woman, but I better be getting to see you in LA sometime soon. And thank you so much for taking the time to do this.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Hope you. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. Bye, guys. Thank you, everybody. Bye.